Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Friday, May 19, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comments section below. Miami Heat vs Boston Celtics. Sports reporters typically talk about which superstars tend to shrink in the playoffs or fail to rise to the occasion. Jimmy Butler is the opposite of this. He plays much better in the playoffs than he does in the regular season. Butler's regular season scoring average was 22.9 ppg, but in the playoffs he is averaging 31.5 ppg. He has another incredible performance in Game 1 with 35 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds and 6 steals. The Heat had 6 players score 15 or more in Game 1. Bam Adebayo was second in scoring with 20 points and added 8 rebounds and 5 assists. 4 other players hit exactly 3 threes and finished with 15 points, including Gabe Vincent, Max Struss, Duncan Robinson and Caleb Martin. The Heat were on fire from 3, shooting 16-31, 51.6% from beyond the arc. 6 players hit 2 or more threes in the game. Miami trailed by as many as 13 in the game, but used a huge third quarter where they won the period 46-25 to take control of the game. The only injuries for the Heat are Tyler Herro and Victor Oladipo, but they have been out since round 1. Miami ranks 25th in offensive efficiency and 8th in defensive efficiency, according to dunksandthrees.com. Miami was 17-24 on the road in the regular season and have gone 4-3 on the road in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics held a 9-point lead at halftime of Game 1 against Miami, but struggled to keep up with Miami in the second half as the Heat stole the win in Boston. The Celtics lost the second half 66-50 and gave up 46 in the third quarter alone. The Celtics actually won the battle of points in the paint 62-40, but allowed Miami to hit 16 threes, which was the difference in the game. Jason Tatum played well according to the box score. The first-team All-NBA performer had 30 points, 7 rebounds, and went 11-11 from the free throw line. Jaylen Brown had his typical strong performance with 22 points, 9 rebounds and 5 assists, but the two stars will need to step up their game to beat the surging Miami squad. The Celtics tweaked their starting lineup, going big starting both Al Horford and Robert Williams. The frontcourt duo combined for 21 points and 13 rebounds, but the big lineup did not result in a win. Derek White was moved to a reserve role after starting 11 games this postseason. Malcolm Brogdon was the top scorer off the bench, adding 19 in the loss. Boston has no injury concerns entering Game 2. Boston ranked 2nd in offensive efficiency and 3rd in defensive efficiency. The Celtics were 32-9 on their home floor in the regular season, but have only gone 4-4 at home in the playoffs. When the home team loses Game 1 of a series, they typically storm back in Game 2 and win big. Boston lost Game 1 to Philadelphia, then won Game 2 by 34 points. The Heat beat Milwaukee in Game 1, then lost Game 2 by 16. The Lakers won Game 1 against the Warriors, then lost Game 2 by 27, and that is just this postseason. In scenarios like this, the higher seed is typically the better team and will play with a sense of desperation, while the road team is already satisfied to have won the first game. Boston will have to decide if they want to stay with a big lineup with Williams 3 or go back to small ball with White in the starting lineup. Either way, Tatum and Brown will rise to the occasion and play even better in Game 2. Miami's shooting will cool off as they cannot expect to shoot over 50% from 3 for the series. I am going to follow historical trends and trust the home team to bounce back in a big way in Game 2. Take the Celtics to win and cover. Should we be shocked anymore about the Miami Heat? The 8th-seeded Heat in the playoffs shocked the top-seeded Bucks in the first round, but, well, Giannis was out for most of the series, people said. Then they took out the Knicks in the second round in 6, but people said, well, it's the Knicks, they're not that good. Now, after a convincing 123-116 win over a fully loaded Celtics team, you can't explain that away. They now lead the ECFs 1-0. And they are doing this without arguably their second-best player, Tyler Herro, and key role player Victor Oladipo. The win in Game 1 was impressive as the Heat managed to overcome an early deficit with an incredible 46-point third quarter that essentially launched them to victory. Jimmy Butler, aka Playoff Jimmy, did his thing with 34 points, 7 assists and 6 steals. I'm playing at an incredible level because they're allowing me to do so. They're not putting a limit on my game. They're trusting me with the ball on the defensive end, and I think that's what any basketball player wants. That's what anybody wants out of life, just to be wanted, be appreciated and just let you go out there and rock, Butler said, reported Yahoo Sports. Bam Adebayo added 20 points and 8 rebounds. Celtics fans had flashbacks of their Game 1 loss to the Sixers in the last round. The Celtics cruised to an early lead in that one, and it looked like they would cruise to an easy win. Then the Sixers came storming back in the second half and stole Game 1 in Boston. The same thing happened on Wednesday, as the Heat stormed back and stole Game 1 with a 123-116 win in Boston. The Celtics shot well, 52% from the floor, but two things did in Boston in this game. One of them was the disparity from three-point range. Miami shot 52% from three-point range, making 16 of 31, while Boston shot 35% from three. Not terrible, but not 52%. The other problem was turnovers. The Celtics made 15 turnovers as Miami had 12 steals, which led to 5 more Miami shots. Jason Tatum led the Celtics with 30 points and 7 rebounds, while Jaylen Brown had 22 points, 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Malcolm Brogdon added 19 points, while Smart had 13 points and 11 assists. Tatum was at a loss with the Celtics' home struggles. "I don't know why," Tatum said, reported the AP. "You've still got to play the game, you've got to make plays, regardless of whether you're home or away. I expect Boston to control this game, and for them to cover this large of a number, their defense will have to be excellent. Miami's shooting percentage from 3 is not likely to be repeated, and the Celtics dominated the paint in Game 1 in a losing effort. If Boston continues to play Horford and Williams 3 together, they will take away any easy buckets at the rim." Boston's tempo is ranked 17th in the NBA, and Miami typically plays even slower, ranking 29th in the league. Boston will ramp up their defensive effort, and Miami is not going to shoot this well again. Expect a much lower scoring game in Game 2. Take the under.